You gotta spend money to make money, and no one knows this better than the Pawn Star guys. They've been doing this for over a decade. Naturally, in that time, some very big buys will come their way. That is why today we will be getting into the 10 most expensive purchases on Pawn Stars. But first, here's a quick word from Hypelit.
Hey, did you know Hypelit Store makes the coolest merchandise just for you? Place your order today as everything is 50% off and get completely free shipping no matter where you are. HypelitStore.com, there's a bit of everything for everyone.
A man who has invested in over 200 pounds of silver into Rick's shop, but by the time 12 years had passed since he made that investment and the price of silver had skyrocketed. Right then, Rick knew he could sell it immediately. So after a quick authentication that the silver was pure, he was happy to take it off his hands for a pricely sum of $111,000.
Hey, what do we got here?
A whole lot of silver.
Let me help you out real quick. The old man is crazy about silver. He's gonna be like a kid on Christmas morning when he sees this.
90% silver dimes over here, some quarters. I got these bars, and this thing alone is almost 75 pounds.
Oh, that's cool. Most people don't realize until 1964, all U.S. dimes, quarters, half dollars, silver dollars were all made out of silver.
Considered a piece of relic to many people, a piece of presidential history, described as once-in-a-lifetime item by Rick, he had to have it. The item was a cigar box that once sat on the President John F. Kennedy's desk in the Oval Office. It even included some unsmoked cigars. Considering another of JFK's cigar boxes sold for over $500,000 back in the 90s, Rick was really onto a winner when he was able to take this off the gentleman's hands for $60,000.
This is John F. Kennedy's cigar box.
Sure is. And inside are the remaining unsmoked cigars. So I made a private deal with the White Estate to buy some of the items.
All right. His personal cigar box sold for over $500,000 to the guy who owns Cigar Aficionado magazine. So someone smoked 3 of the cigars.
Not me. That's how I got it.
Perfecto Garcia incense? Is that what it says on them? Perfect.
An item that you can only obtain if you prove successful in a NFL Super Bowl was brought into the shop. A player from the 2001 Patriots vs Rams Super Bowl decided to sell his Super Bowl ring to Rick. Up until 2001, this was the biggest Super Bowl ring made. Quite interesting enough, there's actually rules in the NFL to make a Super Bowl ring, and the Patriots broke every one of them. One of the rules is if it's your first Super Bowl ring, it can only be 10 karat, it can only weigh a certain amount, and it can only have a certain amount of diamonds. The owner of the Patriots decided to make it anyways. Rick says he doesn't really want to get rid of it unless you're willing to throw $100,000.
What do I own the Dan Marino don't own? Super Bowl ring. It's an actual Super Bowl ring from the 2001 Patriots versus Rams. One of the players came in here a few years ago, and I bought it off him. Sort of odd little story. There is rules with the NFL on how you can make your ring. And the Patriots broke every one of them. I've had it in the store for years because I really, really don't want to sell it unless someone offers me just some stupid amount of money.
Sunken treasure can always be a mystery. You never know the journey that it has taken. But when you have the opportunity to buy one, you might want to take a closer look. A woman brought a 1602 shipwrecked Dutch East India Company bell to the Pawn Stars. Immediately, they took huge interest. One of the first concerns was that it was in too good shape to be submerged in salt water, so they decided to get an expert to take a look at it, and he explained that 90% of the shipwrecks are in shallow water, thus proving that it is indeed genuine.
So what do we got here?
This is my 1602 shipwreck Dutch East India Company bell.
I just love old shipwreck items. You can just imagine the journey they've been on.
This ain't right. I don't think this thing was in salt water for any period of time.
Well, you're right. 90% of all shipwrecks are in shallow water. In fact, most of them are sticking up. You know, they hit the reef and they pretty much stay there. The bell's genuine. I think this could be...
The convertible was created with one thing in mind: luxury. With its 150 horsepower V12 engine, it was more powerful than most cars of its era. So when Rick and the old man went to check out an exceptionally maintained 32 Roadster, they knew they had to go big if they wanted to ride off with this vintage beauty. In the end, it was $95,000 big, paid in cash, which the owner then pushed back over the counter to buy $95,000 worth of gold.
What do we have here?
You got a 1932 Ford Roadster here.
It's nice.
This thing's got to be fast, right?
Yeah, it's right around 500 horse.
Yeah, not a lot of room, man.
I feel like a sardine in this thing. Good, man.
Good to see you.
So what do you think?
I think I love it. To be honest with you, it ain't nothing cooler than a 1932 Ford hot rod.
This custom guitar belonged to American guitarist Mary Ford, who was the wife of legendary guitarist Les Paul. From 1950 to 1954, Mary and Les co-wrote 16 top 10 hits and sold millions of records. Les's solid body guitar also effectively changed the sound of rock music. Already a rare guitar, made even more valuable with its actual connection to Les Paul. This would become Rick's largest guitar buy of his career. After the owner's initial ask of $250,000, Rick did well to lower the price to $90,000.
This is a 1961 Gibson SG Les Paul Custom. These things are rare. But a Gibson Les Paul actually connected to Les Paul, the value could go through the roof. In the 1950s, Les Paul and his wife Mary Ford had over a dozen #1 hits and sold millions upon millions of records.
Wow. Dude, this is amazing. I can't even believe I'm holding this in my hands. Mary Ford's Les Paul.
Rick decided to visit Orlando to attend the biggest coin auction of the year. But Rick had a specific interest there. He wanted a 1915 Panama Pacific octagonal gold coin, as he had a customer back in town who was willing to pay $70,000. So he was hoping attending this coin auction will help him get it a little bit cheaper than that. He ran into a seller who was willing to sell it in perfect condition for $70,000. There was no money to be made there. So he decided to sleep on the offer and see if anybody else had the coin. He ran into another seller with the same exact coin, but it was clean and not in as good condition as he expected. The offer was $48,000, but he knew his buyer back home would not accept. He decided to return to the first seller and they settled on a good $7,500.
I'm at one of the biggest coin auctions of the year in Florida right now. This is the place where all the big money buyers are at.
Anyone out 90,000, 85,000, Heritage Live. Is there another Heritage Live bidder out there tonight? 85.
Doing a little business, buying and selling. I mean, I have a customer for the coin. I'm not, you know this business, I'm not making a lot of money on this.
And neither am I. So out of courtesy, I'll do $67.5.
You got a deal, man.
Thank you very much.
Making a little money is a lot.
In 2013, the car rental company Hertz announced a partnership with American entrepreneur Roger Penske to create 150 limited edition Ford GT Mustangs. When a gentleman brought Rick one of the first 10 ever built, Rick asked professional NASCAR driver Joey Logano to give it a test drive. Happy that everything was in working order, Rick struck a deal at $60,000.
So, this guy's selling it, and actually I was hoping someone might test drive it for me.
I'm always up for that.
I just want to make sure there's no problems at high speed.
Think he's had this thing this fast before?
I doubt it. We're really doing 150?
I think the good thing about this car is that it was never rented out to some guy like me. She runs a short track over there, a little quarter mile.
Another expensive guitar to add to the shop, also owned by a rock legend, Steven Stills of the folk rock group Crossby. Rick instantly appreciated the item. With a bill of sale signed by Stills himself, Rick had to dig deep to get his hands on this holy grail of Gibson guitars. In the end, he was able to take it off the owner's hands for $85,000.
Cool. I would absolutely love to get my hands on this guitar. It's beautiful, it's rare, and it was owned by a rock and roll legend. But it almost seems too good to be true. What's it worth?
It's an expensive guitar, man.
Okay.
I mean, the guitar on its own is probably worth anywhere between 75 and 90 grand just by itself.
I mean, what's your best price on it?
I can do 90.
A man who had no idea what he was bringing to the shop decided to stop by and bring his gold bar. This gold bar was very unique. It had specific stamp that indicated its age, so they had an expert take a look at it and he was able to clarify that it was indeed sunken treasure. So basically, if it's sunken treasure, you would take the value of the gold after it's melted and you would double that. And he was easily able to turn $24,000 into 48 grand. The Pawn Stars gladly accepted that piece of art.
What do we got here?
I got a gold bar I want you to look at.
What do you think, Pops?
It's gold. I mean, it looks like shipwreck stuff. I buy gold from people every day, but I never have gold bars from a shipwreck walk into my shop.
So you're telling me that's worth $48,000?
In that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, thanks for coming in, Mel.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you're new. Also, don't forget to turn that post notification bell on so you never miss our uploads. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.